Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. I am Sidra Mahmood and this is our lecture number 28 of nuclear analytical techniques. This is part 2 of the uh, previous lecture and the topic of our lecture is practical consideration of radio tracer experiment. First of all, we will discuss the key concepts of this lecture, as the feasibility of radio tracer experiments is usually dependent on certain practical matters, and the factors include availability of the radio tracer, calculation of the amount of tracer needed for the experiment, evaluation of hazard, radiation damage to a biological system. As we have discussed the first two points earlier in the previous lecture, that is the availability of the radio tracer and the calculation of the amount of tracer needed for the experiment. Now, in this lecture, we will discuss the evaluation of the hazard, or how hazardous are the radio tracer when we are using in the lab, or when we are working with the radio tracers. Then how may they affect our own body systems and other environmental conditions? How hazardous these radio traces are will be discussed in this lecture. And other is the radiation damage to a biological system. As all the living organisms comprises of the biological systems, so these radio tracer components are affecting our biological system in different ways. So those effects of radio traces will also be discussed in this lecture. So first of all is the evaluation of the hazard. There's that how these radio tracers are evaluated to be very hazardous to the environment and to the experimenter who is working with the radio tracer. So this hazardous damage, or the effects that are being affecting our natural ecosystem, will be discussed. First of all is the term which is to be considered is the possibility of the harm to the experiment or to the co-workers. As the radio tracers are being used by the lab persons, or the person who is performing the experiment in the lab. So the first um contamination, or the first direct role of the radio tracer which it is playing or is affecting is the uh, worker, or we can say is the experimenter, as experimenter is directly linked with the radio tracer and is directly working with the radio tracer. So there are so many precautionary measures that the worker or the experimenter should take into consideration while working with those radio tracer elements. As the more a possibility for affecting or for damaging his own natural body system is uh, the worker which is working with the radio tracer or the experimenter. So the first item which is to be considered is the harm which it may affecting to the experimenter or the co-worker. As in the great majority of radio tracer experiments, the hazard from the direct external radiation does not pose a serious problem. Likewise, there are different radio tracers. If radio tracers um are harmful, then there are so many precautionary measures that one has to be taken into consideration while working with them. But few radio tracers are not so as harmful as many of the other radio tracers we have discussed earlier. So the radiations of those radio tracers should be protected by different different lab instruments, or we can say that those radiations should be handled properly so that they may not escape from the instrument. So there are different minimum values up to which these radiation limits are not harmful, but if they exceed those limits, then they are harmful. So there are different situations, like we have uh, different gamma rays emitters that are used, and the high levels of gamma rays are utilized. We can calculate the levels in the form of millicuries, and in the same way we have example like for sodium 24 radio tracer. 10 millicurie of sodium 24 will deliver a dose of about 204 milliroentgens per hour. Milliroentgens is the basically unit of the intensity of ionizing radiations. So they are delivering the dose of about 204 milliroentgens per hour, we can say at 1 feet distance. And one should also be quite cautious about the radiation dose delivered to the hands and fingers while handling radioactive materials. It should be noted while working with the radioactive or radio tracer elements that the person who is working with the radio tracer elements or the radioactive compounds should take almost all the precautionary measures so as to avoid the maximum danger that it may cause to his or her body. So the handling which is done with the hands or the fingers that are uh, picking, or we can say the handling of the instruments is done actually with the hands. So hands and fingers should be properly covered with the gloves that are most probably present in the lab. One should work when he or she is working in a lab, should be properly dressed up in a lab environment, like lab coat, goggles, and gloves should be weared properly, so that the contamination of the radioactive components should be minimized. And another item of concern is the use of a alpha or beta emitting tracers, is the possibility of ingestion of the labeled compounds, particularly those known to have a long turnover time in the body. In the same way, when we are discussing that one should be properly one should be properly dressed when he or she is working in a lab with the radio tracer components, like he should wear goggles, he should wear proper dress code, like lab coat should be must, along with gloves should be wear properly, and in the same way the mask should be properly adjusted so that the components should not be inhaled along with breathing into the lungs, as these radio tracer components may cause serious damage to the lungs, and they may also affect the breathing system of a body. So it should be very carefully noted that one should not ingest those labeled compounds, and as some components have very long half life, they may remain into the body and may cause serious damage to the body. So all these precautionary measures should be taken properly so as to avoid the contamination and the damage that these radio tracer component may cause to the body. And this problem is made acute where the sample is in the form of an aerosol or a dry powder at some stage of the experiment. However, this effect of inhaling of radio labeled compound is actually more prominent where the sample or the radio tracer component on which we are working is in the form of gas or aerosol. When they are in the form of gas, aerosol, or any dry powder, they may be inhaled very easily and may enter into the lungs very easily, because if they are in the form of dry powder, they are very small particles. They may enter into the nostrils along with breathing, so one should wear mask properly so the contamination of those radio tracer components could be minimized. So those are all the hazards that may be caused due to the radio tracer components, and we should have to be properly we should have to be properly cautious about those all the hazardous conditions, and we have to be prepared about those contaminations and hazardous conditions so as to take precautionary measures to avoid those all type of contaminations. Next we have the radiation damage to a biological system. So as they are affecting the environment, they are playing a role in the environment, as well as they may cause contaminations. They are also affecting uh, dangerously to the biological system, as they are causing serious damages to the biological systems. Sometimes they may stop the functioning of any organ system into the body, like sometimes they are heavily affecting the liver, and in this way no blood formation occurs. When no blood formation occurs, no circulation of blood occurs into the body, no breathing occurs into the body, and in this way one may uh, uh, one may lose his life due to this contamination. So due to these hazardous conditions, one must take precautionary measures so as to avoid these all types of contaminations. So the radiation damage to a biological system under study may occur at two levels: the physiological and the histological. So these are the two main levels at which the radiations are affecting one's body. Maybe affecting the physiological role of the body, or it may affecting the histological role of the body. Physiological, we can say all the physical activities that we are doing may affect by these radio tracers, as like we have discussed earlier that if they are they affected the any of the organ system of the body, like if radio tracer affected the liver badly, and there is no blood formation, and in this way no blood circulation, and due to no blood circulation, no breathing, and due to no breathing one may lose his life. So in this way they are affecting the physiological functioning of the body. And in the same way, histological is the effect that occurs at the tissue level of the body, like the tissue system of the body is badly affected due to the contamination of radio traces into the body. So they are playing both roles in the histological functioning and the physiological functioning. They may cause damage both to the physiological and to the biological functioning of or physiological functioning of the body, which these both histological and physiological occurs in the biological systems of the body. So they may affect the biological functioning and may affect the histological functioning of the body. So in general, the high radiation doses are required to elicit the later type of damage. Actually, there are different limits, or we can say there are different levels up to this. The radio tracers or the ionizing radiations may cause damage to our body, and if the levels are not reached, or we can say if they are not exceeded above their ranges, then they are not so much damaging to the body. So there must be some levels up to which they are safer for the body, and we can say these radio tracers or radio label components are only dangerous when they exceed their limits that are being discussed in different papers or publications, or we can say there is a lot of data on them that this radio tracer or radio labeled component is uh, we can say dangerous up to this limit. So all of the radio tracer or radio labeled components have different limits up to which they are dangerous, and below or above below those ranges they are not so much dangerous, and we can say that they are safer to be used below those ranges. When radiation collides with molecules in living cells, it can damage them. This can cause a mutation, and if the DNA in the nucleus of a cell is damaged, the cell may become cancerous. In this case, the cell divides rapidly and cause serious health problems. Like when say that the radiations that may cause the cancer, or we can say the cancerous cells that arose from the radiation exposure is due to the mutations that these radiations are causing to the cells of the body. The radiations when collides with the molecules of the living cells, they damage them. Actually they are damaging the living cells of the body. Radiations when are colliding with the living cells of the body, they are damaging and they are causing the mutations, and due to those mutations the DNA in the cell has been damaged, and due to this damage the cell become cancerous, and due to which this cell divides rapidly, and the cells divides and divides, and in this way they cause damage to the neighboring cells, and the cycles goes on, and in this way they are causing the serious health problems to the body. So the considerations should be taken, and um proper precautionary measures should be taken. We are saying it again and again because the exposure to the radiation is not much good, or we can say safer, as in many cases, like if we go to the x-ray and we have an other person along with us, but he or she is not doing the x-ray of his or her body. The other person who is examining the x-ray make sure that the person who is came along with the patient does not come in contact or exposure to the x-ray room, just because those x-ray radiations are also not very good for the body. So these type of precautionary measures are also taken into the hospitals to avoid the exposure or contact with the body of the other persons. When however those x-rays that are uh, used in those x-ray instruments are of safer limits, due to which they are used for the medical purposes. But again, if we are making x-rays of our body again and again, the doctors recommend to not expose your body to the x-rays, because they are not so much safer for the body. So basically, we are discussing different aspects of those labeled compounds and the radiations, the radio labeled compounds that are emitting by those radio labeled compounds. So the greater the dose of radiation a cell gets, the greater the chance that the cell will become cancerous. As we have discussed it earlier, that the exposure of radiation will damages the cell structures, and in this way the mutation occurs, and due to those mutations the functioning of DNA is also affected, and due to this effectiveness of the functioning in DNA, the cluster of cells forms, and we say this that cancer occurs. So the greater exposure to those radiations will increases the chance to become to for the cells to become cancerous. And however, very high doses of radiations can kill the cell completely. So this property that sometimes the radiations can kill the cells completely is also used to kill the cancer cells and also harmful bacteria and other microorganisms. Like sometimes they are affecting very badly to our body. These radiations are affecting hazardously, while on the other hand, those intense radiations can be used for the meaningful purposes, like for the for the treatment of cancerous cells, or we can say cancerous patients. We can expose the cancerous cells to those radiations, and we can also we can say that we can also completely completely we can say damage those cancerous cells by these radiations or radio labeled compounds. So they are also playing an advantageous as well as hazardous role to our body. This hazard symbol is shown on the containers of radioactive substances to warn of the danger. This yellow symbol is most of the time is put on the containers, or we can say the X-ray instruments, to avoid the content or contamination, or to restrict the person to the radiation area, towards the radiation area. So this yellow symbol represents the warn of the danger. Whenever it is suspected that radiation damage is influencing the physiological response of the organism, it is advisable to repeat the experiment with lower levels of radioactivity while maintaining the same total chemical level of the administered compound. So sometimes when it is suspected that high levels of radioactive compounds, or we can say radioactive or radio labeled compound, is affecting the body, or it's causing harm to the environment or to the biological systems, then it is advised to lower those levels of radioactive or radio labeled compounds. And the total chemical content, or the administered compound, is maintained up to their um, original level. However, the intensity or the amount or the uh, conditions of the radio level, or we can say radioactive compound, is minimized whenever they are causing any harmful effect to the biological or environmental systems. The biological effects of radiation from radio tracer doses have been reported to occur at the following dose levels. These are some levels up to which the radio tracer components have been reported that they are affecting the biological systems of the organisms. Likewise, 0.045 millicurie of iodine 131 per gram of body weight in mice is affecting, or we can say is causing an effective role in the body of the mice. In the same way, 0.5 millicurie of strontium 89 per gram body weight in mice and rats is also affecting the biological system of the mice and rats. In the same way, the 0.05 millicurie of phosphorus 32 per element of rearing solution for mosquito larva, and in the same way 2 2 microcurie of phosphorus 32 per liter of nutrient solution for barley plants. So these are some amount of different radio tracer components that are affecting different biological systems, and they are exemplified in this slide. So now we can say that we must be cautious, or attention must also be given to the disposal of radioactive waste resulting from the experiment. Uh, Actually, when we are doing any lab experiment or any other experiment industrially in which radio labeled or radioactive components are being used, then the disposal of the waste material should also be done properly and carefully, as the handling and the proper manipulation of these radio tracer or radio labeled compound must be done properly as to avoid any contaminations, such as excreta, carcasses, or large volumes of solutions. Like in different industries or lab experiments, we have different types of disposals of radioactive components. So those radio labeled waste should be disposed of properly, and the possible method of disposal will depend on the specific radioisotope present, its concentration, activity, and the nature of the waste. So these are different factors that are playing the role in the radioisotopic activity of the radioisotope, or we can say radio labeled or radioactive component. So their concentration, their activity, and their nature should be considered properly, so as to dispose of them properly. So these conditions or these considerations should be taken into a point, and should be properly worked on it, and we should do a proper handling, we should do proper disposal of those radio labeled components, so to avoid the contamination. So these were basically all the factors that are playing the role in determination of the radio labeled compounds. How is it affecting the biological systems, the environment, and our daily activities. And the hazardous evaluations are also done in this lecture. So we have to properly work on it, and if we are doing any work or experiment on radio labeled components, we should have to properly make sure the adjustments, or we can say the proper treatments, or proper working on the radio labeled components should be taken into consideration, so to avoid any contamination, as they may not damage our biological systems, our environment. So to avoid all those contaminations, proper considerations of lab, or we can say proper precautionary measures should be taken into consideration. So the assignment is same for this part of the lecture, that you have to give more example of radio tracers related to practical considerations. Thank you.